If you're struggling thinking whether to buy or not Ghost of Yotei, stick with me on this video and hopefully by the end I'll put your mind at ease. What's up my YouTube brethren, it's your boy Accursed Shadow here bringing you a long overdue video review of Ghost of Yotei. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, and yes, I did pull the Platinum Trophy out of this game. Right, so first things first, we're gonna talk about the gameplay. Now, within the gameplay, we have multiple sections, and we'll go into each and every one of them. So the first thing we're gonna talk about in the gameplay sections are the weapons. In Ghost of Tsushima, you had katana stances, and in Ghost of Yotei, you now have multiple weapons, 5 in total, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not gonna spoil for you guys which and every of those weapons are. Basically in your arsenal. So what the devs did in Ghost of Yotei, they scratched the idea of katana stances and brought in new weapons for the player to have fun with. This is a particularly interesting concept, seeing as you can now upgrade each and every weapon's damage output and put in some sweet skill points in them. Overall, I think the new system works like a charm. The next thing we're gonna cover in the gameplay is exploration. Man, exploration now is a big part of Ghost of Yotei. Not to say that it wasn't in Ghost of Tsushima, if not by far the biggest part in the game in itself. It's really easy to get sidetracked from the main objective. If you're on the main objective of the story, which you set a waypoint on the map, going to that waypoint, you'll find that you will definitely get really easily distracted by a camp that needs liberated, a wolf den or a spring well, and don't even get me started on that damn golden bird. Loads and loads of things to do within the game now. Therefore, you cannot get over the fact that somehow, somewhere on the map, you just have to go and scratch that exploration itch whenever the opportunity presents itself. The next thing that I want to mention is the ridiculously stupid good fast traveling system in the game. One word for it: instant. It happens in the blink of an eye, no matter how far you want to fast travel on the map. It is really good for those 100% completionists, as they will get things done much faster. Next thing on the list in the gameplay section is combat. The combat stayed almost the same as in Ghost of Tsushima, with the exception of the weapons, as now you get much more in-depth combat than ever before. You still get standoffs, and also you can choose, if you so choose, you can still get assassinations, which they feel as ever bit as satisfying as in the previous game. That kind of about covers the combat system. Next up is gear within the gameplay section. Now, with the gear, I felt a little disappointed seeing that there hasn't been any sort of gear that made me say, wow, they really upped the level in this game with the gear. No, nothing special, nothing of the sort. Sure, there are a few different stuff added in than Ghost of Tsushima, but nothing special that blew my mind. The one mechanic in gear that I think stuck with me the most and made an impact was the fact that they've implemented builds now, which, if memory serves, I think there are a total of 5 customizable builds that the player now can save. Also worthwhile mentioning is the fact that the implemented builds can be swapped on the fly via pausing the game apart from some story missions, which requires you to wear the gear that's presented in the story itself. Lastly, I want to talk about Legends, which will come out in 2026 as a free downloadable content. Now, for any of you that haven't played in the previous game and don't know what Legends is basically the multiplayer of the game. In Ghost of Tsushima, the multiplayer was really good, and I was totally blown away by how much time I've spent in the multiplayer of the game. Honestly, I cannot wait to play Legends from Ghost of Yotei. If it's as every bit as good as Ghost of Tsushima's Legends, with at least 10% improvement on any of the mechanics, then all the negative review for this game that I have won't even count anymore, honestly. I absolutely loved the Legends in the previous one. With all that being said, the gameplay of Ghost of Yotei, I would rate it around 8.8 just because I really think that Sucker Punch got lazy and basically copy pasted some features from Ghost of Tsushima. The next section that I want to talk about are the graphics in the game. Within the graphics section, I'll be covering the immersion of the game. It is really easy to get lost in the beauty of the game and its graphics. I honestly think I've spent a really good amount of time just admiring the scenery, the beautiful landscapes, and all the attention to the detail that the game had to offer. It really immersed me into the game, and I honestly think that no other game apart from Ghost of Tsushima managed to pull this off. There are a few titles out there that stand out, such as God of War as an example, but none like what Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei managed to pull off, at least for me. If you can, I would really encourage you to not fast travel in this game, as I'm really sure that if you do, you'll be missing out by a lot. But once you'll feast your eyes on the sunset or that open field of flowers, you totally understand why I urge you not to fast travel within this game. So I really think that Sucker Punch managed to pull off Ghost of Tsushima, what Ghost of Tsushima did, and then some with Ghost of Yotei. Therefore, my rating of this game's graphics would be a solid 10, no contest. The next section I want to cover is the sound and music within the game. The sound is really decent, actually much better than decent, almost close to perfection. The sound of the clinging swords within a duel, or the sound of an arrow flying towards its target, basically unrivaled. The music, well, the music for this game is absolutely perfect. Sucker Punch actually stepped it up from the flute of the previous game with the shamisen in this one. And I gotta say, the shamisen is truly an instrument that clicked with me from the get-go. As soon as I heard the sound it produced, I was blown away by the fact that it provided that all contemporary Chinese slash Japanese music. I simply loved it. Don't get me wrong, I love the flute from the previous game, but the shamisen is just a step further for me for a reason that I cannot fully comprehend nor can explain. To the music sound slash sound in the game, I would rate it at a 9.8. I didn't give it a solid 10 only because I feel like there's something lacking. Not within the music part, but the sound. I feel like they could have reached perfection with it, but didn't for some reason. Final section, ladies and gents, the one that drags this game down by 10,000 miles, the story. Oh, you can bet there's gonna be some criticism in this bitch. The story literally pissed me off. For one thing, it starts off as a freaking cliche of a revenge story. Why is Sony hell-bent with revenge on every AAA game that they launch? It just doesn't make sense anymore. It's like every developer that works on exclusive game for Sony has really gotten lazy. Yeah, I truly don't know. Anyway, moving on. Another stupid thing that I think the devs did was changing the protagonist of the previous game. I mean, why? Why? For crying out loud, why? When I can confirm that absolutely no one, and I mean no one, asked for this, for a new protagonist. We all wanted a continuation of Jin Sakai's story, or at least a conclusion to him, if you weren't gonna drag this into a 3-game story and be lazy. The story of the first game was so impressive and really well structured. I really was let down by the fact that they've changed the protagonist. Mind you, I have nothing against female protagonists in games. I absolutely love a good female protagonist in a game. Examples: Stellar Blade, Tomb Raider, Control, Blood Rain. Do you want me to keep going? I think you get the point. The list just keeps going. And just so you know, there's another stupid thing that the devs did at the very end of this game, story-wise, which I'm not gonna spoil for you, my brethren. But I will say the following. This started off as a fucking revenge story, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. If you know, you know. With that being said, I'm going to give a shitty rate of 4.5 out of 10. Honestly, I don't think it deserves more. I really have tried to give it more, but for the story, hell no, bro. Right, so compiling all those rates and basically the overall score of the game would be 8.2. This game could have been so much more. It really had the potential to be an almost perfect game from my part. Should you get this game for $70? My guess, if you're a casual, only Sunday gaming type of person, then no. Wait for some sort of discount. Otherwise, you'll more than likely be disappointed, especially if you've played the previous one, in terms of story at least. Now, on the other hand, if you're a hardcore gamer such as me, then my answer is still no and yes at the same time. Now, what I mean by that is the fact that if you're not interested about the story and more about the gameplay itself, then I would say definitely yes. Yes. Definitely get this game as soon as possible, as I think you're missing out. Furthermore, this game had more good reviewed sections from my part than bad ones. And by bad ones, I mean just one which was the story. It fucking sucked ass big time. If you're more about the story of the game, I would urge you to wait until the game is discounted by at least 90%, as you'll throw up in your mouth, swallow it back, and throw up properly altogether if you don't wait. Again, especially if you played and enjoyed the story of the previous game. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, gratitude is in order for watching. Always remember to uphold the honor of the samurai, the courage of the Spartans, and the relentlessness of the Vikings. I'll see you, boys and girls, on the next one. Peace out.
Of myself.
I doubt that. Get behind me, now.
Whatever you found belongs to us.
Only if you can take it.
Ah, we've heard stories of an Onryo haunting the Oshima coast.
Let's see if you bleed.
Men!
Stay back, Masa. I'll deal with them.